It's Friday.
What? Is it Friday? I thought it was like Monday, Friday-ish.
It's live. It's rolling out. Welcome. Wake up call.
We are live. Hey, everybody. I see y'all.
T, Cass. T.
Janice Simmons already done checked in.
Janice! We're going to play this morning show. Portia talked so much we didn't get to see our introduction, y'all. Wake up. It's rolling out.
It's
8 a.m.
coming.
with
Here
Cactus.
it is.
We're doing the afternoon.
Wow.
The sun is shining, nice and bright. The birds are chirping, and I'm ready to fly. Time to get ready for another day. No one can stop us. We gon' learn and play. Every day we learn and play. We do our best, so we'll be great. You do your best, and I'll do mine. So let's get ready, cause it's about that time. Good morning to you, good morning. How do you do?
Philadelphia, good morning. Alabama, good morning. Good morning.
That's how we start today. Open your eyes. Morning to you. Morning, how do you do? Good morning to you. Good morning, how do you do?
Good morning. I'm Munson Steed, and welcome to the Rolling Out AM Wake Up Call. I'm joined with my team, Romeo International, Pop Left. On the bottom, we got Cass in the City, T, Smile. We're on
Good
camera,
morning.
y'all, live, and AR Shaw. Good morning, everybody. Rolling Out 8 a.m.
Morning. What's
Morning.
going on, man?
Morning.
Wake up,
Go.
wake up. I mean, woo, the whole country.
Go.
Whoa. That's how you say it. Whoa.
Are you?
Whoa.
Man, everybody woke.
I think people need to take a breather, man. We need to just take a breather. Need to inhale and exhale.
Well, how y'all feeling this morning, though? How everybody feeling? Mr. Steve, Cass, AR, how y'all feeling?
I'm great, man. I don't know. Maybe they didn't hear your question, but I'm great. I want you to understand. I'm grateful. You know, I woke up this morning. I am grateful. I'm on 10s. I am so grateful. I meditated before I got out of the bed. I meditated and said my prayers next to the bed and got on my knees just so I could make sure that I remembered that, you know, there was something greater than myself. So I've started my day, brother. I enjoy it. I thank God for everything, my health, my strength, the fact that my mother's alive. You know, I've got individuals in my life. Come on, man. Let's go with it.
I like that. Cass?
Maybe they can find my favorite video for this #1 song somewhere.
How you feeling, Cass?
I'm good. There's a lot going on in the world we're going to get into today, but I feel good. I'm grateful as well. So good morning to everyone joining us. Thank you for tuning in to the Wake Up Call.
Let's go. AR?
Definitely, man. We just, you know, it's a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep a positive air, positive energy. But I was up late last night, man, just looking at what was happening, checking social. And, man, it's just a lot of emotions around the country.
Keep the faith, everybody. Keep the faith.
Oh, keep the faith for real. And shout out to everybody who's been supporting Rolling Out, rollingout.com, promotions at Rolling Out. We got a lot of good images sent in to the email that I'll be sharing later, man. So good vibes all around. Let's go.
Good vibes, good understanding, but it's also a moment to read. I mean, for you, those of you who got time, this is a time we've heard, we can actually understand the frustration that are pinned up inside of people. We're not new. This is not new. I mean, this isn't new. We understand it was going to happen. Everybody said it out loud. And I think
Yeah, but the thing is this, like when we see that is going to happen, it's like, wow, that we really think that it was going to get to the point where precincts were set on fire, people were shot. I mean, this is like, I don't know if it took, I saw the 92 riots as far as like videos from it, and this looks far worse than the 92 riots. You guys can come in and let me know your thoughts on comparing this situation to the 92 riots. But
92 riots, where?
The 92 riots that took place in Los Angeles, California, after the verdict, the Rodney King verdict, the police officers who were caught on camera beating Rodney King, they were acquitted, and there was riots in the streets in Los Angeles for several days. So yeah, South Central Los Angeles went up in flames in 92. And people are comparing this moment in Minneapolis to the 92 riots. So, so we have a video that we want to play to kind of get people inspired today.
Right. We at least want to start you off right. We want to start you off right.
Start it off right.
Cassidy, you want to introduce the video?
Yes, we definitely want to keep the faith. This is something we have been showing each and every day. This is, we just have to watch and see because it's very inspirational. It's an amazing video. It shows healthcare workers. It shows a lot of things that are going on in our society right now. And it's all about, keeping the faith and being uplifted. Pastor Charles Jenkins, this is his #1 song. So let's cue up Keep the Faith.
Shout out to Pastor Charles Jenkins and Todd Jenkins and Deacon Kids, Jenkins family, and all those who believe just a little bit more to kind of pump you up and share some love. Thanks for sending the video, Pastor Jenkins. We love you and the family. And for all of you out there, just hum on this song a little bit just to get some inspiration. We're ready. Boom. Keep the faith. Pastor Charles.
Yeah, let's get it.
And while the video is being set up for Q, Siobhan LeConte, she must be French. She says, "Good morning from Covington, Georgia." She's celebrating her 27th wedding anniversary. Earl Reed is checking in this morning.
Congratulations.
Hey, happy wedding anniversary.
Yes.
Miss Steed is checking in. She says, "This is a revolution and rebellion, not a riot." Jamaica Lynch, Shirley Carter, we know you on deck. Shirley Carter is always in the building. And Nicole English and Tyrell Brooks is checking in this morning.
Tyrell, what's up, bro?
We on fire.
Phenomenal publicist and community leader, film documenter. Shout out to you, but let's do this.
Yeah, let's keep this faith, man. Let's go. She said, I'm not French.
Quit. When you're standing at a crossroads, what do you do?
Watch a blank video, watch a blank video.
When a fork is in the road, what do you do?
Watch a blank video, watch a blank video.
When the world is on your shoulders, what do you do?
Watch a blank video, watch a blank video.
When your back is up against the wall, what do you do?
Watch a blank video.
So that was the remix.
That's the remix.
Stop jumping off camera. We literally need you to stay on camera.
That's the remix, man. But we got.
That was what faith is. It's something you can't see.
Man. Sometimes you got to believe.
You can't see faith. You can't see faith. You can see the manifestation of faith. Definitely can see the manifestation.
Oh man, y'all started early.
Everybody reach toward the screen in the voice and get a little bit, cats. Go ahead. Join me. Yes, but let's get it right.
When your back is up against the wall, what do you do? What do you do?
What can you do?
You hold on and keep the faith. Keep the faith. go. When there's nowhere else to go, where do you turn? When there's nowhere else to turn, where do you look? When there's nowhere else to look, what do you do? When there's nothing else to do, you're in the master's hands, and the master has a plan. Hold on, hold on, and keep the faith.
All right.
Keep the faith.
I think we got enough faith right now. Woo! Keep the faith. I love it.
Man,
Just want to touch on it. You know, happy Friday to everybody. Happy whatever day it is and whatever twilight zone you feel like you're in. But I think the respect, particularly that how we define ourselves, Amir. If you look at the comment from Christina, is not to define ourselves by what the news says.
Of course. Of course.
And we shouldn't repeat what people say when they're defining a moment of truth for us, a pain for us.
Of course. I think uprising is definitely a good word to use. We should definitely use.
Let's share the facts on Minnesota
Yeah.
on this show. Let's share the facts of disparity. Let's talk about the facts of disparity that are there. The fact that the whole entire community is seeing itself. Finally, the world is to take a look. They were just there. Philando wasn't that long ago. Come on, man.
nothing wasn't that long ago.
And so just for some context, the officer who shot Philando Castile in front of his 4-year-old daughter and his wife actually got off. He was acquitted. Yeah, well, he actually didn't. He never got. I don't think he was ever charged. He was arrested, but I don't think nothing happened to him. So you're right. They've been asking to go through the legal process for some time in Minnesota, and this is just a city that's fed up. They're fed up with the process. The process isn't working, and so what do you do when the process isn't working? How do you respond? How do we respond?
Well, we're not there, but there are people that are there on our team and in the streets. The leadership obviously is asking for calm. The other individuals who are part of what it will be their life in their revolution because they live there are taking and marking or demarking and requiring a rebuild. I mean, sometimes you have to tear something down to build something back up. Now, is it the most appropriate behavior? That's part of the debate. That's part of the conversation. But when you want a revolution, if you got to start again, at least you start out with everybody understanding that there's a new day.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's and I don't think this is going to be this is just the beginning. You know what's going to happen this weekend. You have 500 National Guard troops that are making their way to Minnesota. They're probably there now, but I know last night they were making their way. So it's just a lot going on in the city. And
how do y'all feel? How's everybody out there feel? Let us know. Send your texts. Let's talk about it. Cass, how about it? It's Friday. Give them a little light cheer. Maybe you can give them a song from two of my favorite young ladies. We got that. Can we go to that, Cass?
Definitely. I have one story before we go to that. I want to close out my report with that. But starting off, I want to kind of share with you guys something that happened in West Hollywood in California with Denzel Washington, where he intervened in a situation with a homeless man who was, approached by police officers and kind of being harassed. So if we could pull that up, there's some photos I have, but basically Denzel Washington driving, just minding his business through West Hollywood. And he decided to intervene in this situation, pulled his car over and approached two officers, white officers who were dealing with a Black homeless man. So he kind of put himself in the middle of the situation to diffuse it. And we have pictures of that, like I said, but he just kind of wanted to de-escalate the situation and prevent anything else from happening. As we've seen, so many unarmed Black men are being killed by the police. So he just wanted to insert himself and kind of de-escalate this situation. He also made sure that the homeless man received whatever he needed. He also gave him some masks, extra masks during this time, as we're still dealing with COVID-19. So I thought this was really incredible of Denzel Washington. You guys let me know. I mean, it's definitely a heroic act. It's dangerous, but, he helped this man and nothing bad happened in this situation. So you can kind of see in these photos, he's speaking with the officers, but he's, kind of being a barrier in between, the homeless man and the officers.
I love Denzel.
No, I think that was a very brave moment for Denzel to step in between, because you're right. Like, anytime a police officer is in the midst of a Black person, you never know what's going to happen. Will it lead to assault? Will it lead to murder? So I think, okay, do we have the video? Okay, so what Denzel did was very admirable. It was brave to step in during that time, because you're right. You never know what's going to happen when the police encounter someone, and the guy may have been mentally challenged or has had some type of issues. So that was definitely a great moment from Denzel.
But let's applaud the fact that great photo cast. Let's applaud the fact that someone that we consider to be a leader did an action. Like I don't want to say you rarely see celebrities do an action, but you rarely see them take time out of what they were doing to actually stop, without cameras, without lights, and say, hey, let me be a voice for the voiceless. So I love it, man. I love it.
Definitely. And then back to like what Munson was mentioning, Chloe and Halle, who obviously are Beyonce's young proteges, young artists, they decided to kind of do this cover, the Black National Anthem, in a kind of a mix of different songs in honor of George Floyd and his life. And I think it's very timely right now as we, go through our day and discuss what's happening in Minneapolis.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Let us march on till victory has won.
Yeah.
I just thought that was super powerful during this time, and I just kind of wanted to share that with you all.
That is fire.
Definitely. Lift every voice and sing Black National Anthem. And it's, the thing is this, man, it's like, even just taking that song in particular, like when I was in elementary school, we sung that song every single day. And I didn't realize how important that was until I got older. It's like, wow, like we sung his song, Lift Every Voice and Sing, every single day, and, as I got older, we stopped singing the song. I went to middle school, we didn't sing. We went to high school, we didn't sing. So just to be able to sing that song and really have kids to feel good about themselves every morning is important. I think we may want to add that song to our playlist, Lift Every Voice.
Right. No,
I think
it's
it
funny.
introduces a lot of individuals who may not be familiar with the song at this moment. So I think the idea of individuals are taking cultural moments, historical, and adding them with the new remix of a new generation of individuals who have some compassion, can at least, because you get to lift every voice, and all of a sudden people start missing the words and everybody doesn't know. At least at this point, maybe you got a 30-second new blast that can keep people so that they can sing it. Thanks, Cass. Great job. Great catch for everybody. And thanks to the next generation who is showing up as part of this movement, is showing up. I mean, the young ladies in MSP, both the president of the NAACP are under 30, 25 years old. Leslie, the VP, Nika are young people making a difference in that community. They're involved at that age. So I really love it.
Man, great this morning. Good morning, man. Rolling Out AM, wake up this Friday morning. Mustard Steve, Cass in the City, A.R. Shaw. I do agree with you, A.R. Shaw. I was thinking about it for a second. I remember the national anthem. I remember the Black national anthem. And then all of a sudden, you're right. It just, I think at 6th grade, I think that was middle school, it just, disappeared. Going into the Rolling Out AM report, man, I'm not giving y'all music today, man. I'm giving y'all what's trending socially right now, and I'm so excited this morning and happy this morning. I don't care where the producers go. Wherever the producers go, I'm gonna go with them. What we got this morning, because I love that my young people heard my voice yesterday and did action. So check this out. I love my women, Black, brown, other. Women got together and they marched themselves with the sign Black Lives Matter and stood strong in the streets of Minneapolis together on their own. And it was just a beautiful sight. Also, what's trending right now, if you can see the bottom right corner, you don't see the video. I gave producers the video, but one of CNN's reporters, which I'm pretty sure AR is going to touch on, one of CNN's reporters got arrested yesterday while live on camera. Now, the funny part, what people did not see, was 2 steps away from him, his white co-reporter was escorted. Now, keep in mind, the Black reporter was arrested, handcuffed. His white counterpart was escorted alongside him, no handcuffs. And you can hear the man on camera say, hey, sir, can you please move aside? Blew me away live on television. So there's a lot going on in Minneapolis that everybody needs to keep their eye open about. And everybody needs just to be aware. Be aware of your surroundings. Support. We want you to be as loud as possible. We want you to be vocal in your feelings, but we want you to be safe. We want you to be secure. We want you to be aware of what's going on around you. Also, yesterday trending, which is super dope. If we can go to that real quick, are we going to it? We're not going to it. I'm in a good mood.
She went to it. That's the show. Just talk about it. She went to it.
All right. So
definitely
yesterday, as we know, we reported Terry, the King James, he reported earlier this week that CEO of Twitter has been doing his job as far as supporting nonprofits, supporting Black Lives Matter, and supporting COVID-19. Well, the CEO of Twitter he said he's done. He actually gave Donald Trump a violation rule for using the words thugs. Now, Donald Trump said these thugs are dishonoring the memory of George Floyd and won't let it happen. Well, after that, Twitter blocked him. And then Donald Trump came back with, of course, what else could he come back with? They now say using thug is a bad word. And even though Obama uses it, it's racist. This man, Obama has been removed from office forever. And this man still seems to go back to Obama as his fallout. So shout out to Twitter for actually not being biased on who they support and who they support. They are good across the board. Thank you, Portia, for that. And I just love the fact that everybody on Twitter is really responding positively. Ice Cube was supposed to be on Good Morning America this morning. He actually tweeted this morning. I apologize to everyone expecting to see me on Good Morning America, but even after the events in Minnesota with George Floyd, I'm not in the mood to tell America good morning. Thank you, Ice Cube. Thank you, Ice Cube, for using his voice to spread awareness and standing up. That's what we need. The Denzel Washington, the Ice Cubes. We need people with a voice to stand up. So Rolling Out AM, wake up. Rolling Out AM, wake up. I'm so excited, y'all. I need y'all to stand up, be loud, be heard, be safe, be aware, be positive, be anything you can be, because that's what we're doing today. Let's go. Whew,
All right, cool. All right, cool. I want to take you guys to last night, what occurred in Minneapolis. It was a heated moment, a heated situation, and there was the what we call the uprising. The uprising occurred last night, and it kind of got out of hand. So these are images from the precinct that the police precinct that caught on fire, or that was set on fire last night. And it's just a message. It's like, what do we do next? We were, like I said earlier, we were asking during the Philando Castile situation. We've asked for arrest. The officers who were involved in the incident where George Floyd lost his life, they have yet to be arrested. And what's next? Like we just want the due process. And so yeah, that happened last night. It was very heated situation. Provoked a lot of discussion on social media as far as, how do we respond during these situations? How do we react? So that was a big moment last night. I definitely wanted to show you guys that image. Do we have the Colin Kaepernick up? I want to make sure we have Colin Kaepernick. Well, Colin Kaepernick, he finally spoke out about this situation. As you guys know, Colin Kaepernick, he lost his job pretty much for his silent protest against police brutality. And yesterday he sent out a tweet. When civility leads to death, revolting is the only logical reaction. The cries of peace will rain down, and when they do, they will land on deaf ears because your violence has brought this resistance. We have the right to fight back. Rest in power, George Floyd. So what Colin Kaepernick is saying is that we've done this thing. We want due process, but due process hasn't worked. And so what's the next step? And we don't want anybody to get hurt, but how does a community that's been terrorized for so long, how do we fight back? And so that's the biggest question today. Like, how do we make sure that our voices are heard during this moment?
Definitely. I saw a lot of tweets and things regarding this issue. A lot of people, spoke to the fact that we've been silently protesting, and they kind of made that mirror image. And they said, so what, this is what happens when that's, that is not paid attention to. That's not recognized. That's brushed under the rug. So I definitely saw a lot of that on social media from a lot of millennials.
The other thing is people want answers now. They don't want to wait another 10 years. They don't want to wait another 20 years. They don't want to hide their earpiece. They don't want to have another generation to have to wait. I mean, I think that's more even to Romeo's issue is they don't want to wait. Nobody wants to wait for something that we saw that nobody could tell us that's not what you saw. Like, well, we're not certain that was a murder. But the man didn't get up. He didn't go back and brush his teeth. He can't give nobody no hug.
So what
happened? So let's try that on y'all. Let's try that. Let's see how that works. Why don't you let the person that's not making the decision get the same guy to do the same thing? We've got a guest coming on right now. Let's go to our famous guest. I really appreciate all of you out there in Facebook land. But we want to talk about these experiments. Let's experiment on those who don't believe.
And we got some great comments coming.
What's happening?
What's up, brother? So I wanna
man?
introduce my
morning.
brother, Abdi Hassan, and welcome you to the Rolling Out AM Wake Up Call. How's it going with you today, brother?
It's going good, brother. It's going good. Everything's going good out here in Minnesota. I mean, not
Definitely.
that good, but it's a good start to the morning.
Come on.
Definitely, man. We wanna cue up the video from what occurred, the racial profiling that occurred that you guys. I'm sorry that you guys had to go through. But first, just introduce yourself, introduce your company, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, my name's Abdi Hassan. I'm a co-founder in a company called Top Figure, and we're a branding agency and e-commerce ads agency. So what we focus on is growing online brands and scaling them to the next level. We also do have a technology company called Tavolo that's focused on revolutionizing the dining experience. So that's what I've been doing for the last 3 years, and I've been located here in the Twin Cities, Minnesota, where all this crazy stuff is going on right now.
It's going crazy, man. But we want to play the video from the other day to kind of give people some context of what you guys had to deal with.
Okay.
You know, watch out. What'd you say we can't do?
I'm Tom Austin. I'm a tenant in the building. Are you?
We're all tenants in this building.
What office?
Don't worry about that. We're not claiming.
What office?
So we have an office here, and this guy came accusing us we can't be here.
What office are you in?
Don't worry about that. We don't have to tell you
I'm calling
anything.
911 then.
Go ahead.
All right, brother. Yeah, that's this, sad situation. He's like Tom Austin, that was his name. Can you give us some context of what happened and how this all transpired?
Yeah, so four of my colleagues were in the gym working out before me, actually. And then he walked in after them, and I guess he was giving them some sort of looks, but he was just doing his normal workout. I guess like when I walked in, I was the last person to walk in. That was like when he had enough. He seen like too many of us or something. And that's when he asked, do you guys even like belong here? This was some stuff that happened after camera. So it was actually worse. He's like, do you guys even belong here? And we're like we were just surprised because we come to that gym like every day. This is our office, we work out here every day. Never got asked that question. And we're like, yeah, but why does that matter? And then he's like, okay, I need everybody to show me key cards. And he's a normal tenant, So we said, nobody's showing you any key cards. And he felt like he was obligated to ask us these questions and demanding that we show key cards. And mind to tell you, tenants don't have to show other tenants anything, unless you're a building manager or you're like the building owner, which we knew he wasn't. So we had nothing to show him. And there was some, and then it just continued. And as you can see, we weren't even going to actually record this. That was the crazy part, until he brought his phone out and started taking pictures of all of us.
Oh, wow.
Him flashing his phone around in the video. That's when my colleague brought it out. And he said, I'm going to send this to the building manager, and he called Nicole, the building manager, and she sent the janitors over. And the janitors, like, they know us all the time. They're like, yeah, these guys are definitely, they're they have office here. And that's when his excuse for threatening to call the cops was to see if we would run,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And then he was like, then I would have known that you guys didn't belong here. So it was just a very sad situation how it all went down, just like, number one, he didn't even have to approach us, like that was none of his business. We didn't approach him. He's the one that approached us, tried speaking with us. And it's just crazy what's going on now. And like the obligation to talk to another human being like that is very disturbing.
Cass, I know you saw some of this on social media.
Definitely.
What are your thoughts?
This was unbelievable to me. And I just want to thank you for joining us this morning. I'm 25 years old. I've never experienced any racism like this, right in my face. It's occurring to me. We know it exists, but once it happens to you, it's a little bit different. How has this changed your outlook, as a young person, and do you have a message to other young people, with all that's going on right now in Minnesota?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. And I always say,
life is more about how you react to things. You know, we could have had a different reaction. You know, we could have got upset, showed it bad, then we would also look bad too, you know? So it's like always how you carry yourself. You got to carry yourself with dignity, class, with everything you do, no matter if you can't control what others do to you, but you can control what you respond with, you know? So that's the biggest thing that I took away from this is like, I was even surprised how we even handled it in the moment with everything going on. Like I was at the moment, like it didn't occur to me that we handled it like this way, you know? So the biggest takeaway was with every like situation, just handle yourself with dignity and class and like, don't let anyone get a bad reaction out of you, you know?
Definitely. I think that's very important.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Munson. Go ahead.
You know, thanks for coming to Rolling Out AM, the wake up call. You have awakened the entire country. We are so proud of you and your generation. Obviously, your messaging. You've got great parents, I'm sure, that are there who are proud of you. For people who don't know, and I've been to MSP, love it. I think it's one of the places I think change is always on somebody's agenda. It just never appears to be real. I mean, it just seems to be that evasive thing. They have no idea the other cultures that are there. And I think that is making people frightened because they know they need people. There's a shortage of people. There's a need, and everybody's not going to be unintelligent. So I appreciate the dignity, young man, that you brought to every young person of color around this world. And just to hear you articulate it, again, I am so proud.
Thank you.
What did your parents say?
They were like surprised at first, you know, because the whole thing. So this is what happened. The night that we posted it, we just like posted it, and it wasn't going that big. It had like probably like 1,000 likes or something. And like when we woke up that morning, like I woke up with like 50 news channels trying to like contact us, like hundreds of interviews, and like I'm like, whoa, I think I'm logged in like the wrong Instagram. It grew like 20,000 overnight. Like so many news people were supporting it. So many people were shocked on what's going on. And one thing that like I respected was the building owner like terminated his lease, you know. So that was a big ups to him on that. And he actually called us that morning, you know. He was just like gave his sincere apology on what happened, you know, and everybody was just shocked. Like, and the crazy thing is, if this was not on camera, people would not believe it. You know, that's the crazy part. Like, it's so like outrageous that people just would not put it in their mind. Like, no way, like this could happen, you know. And my parents, they were proud of how we handled the situation. That was their biggest thing. They were just like, yeah, you guys handled yourself very well. You know, you couldn't control everything, but you were able to like control what you can, you know. And the thing I do want to add though, like, is there was that unfortunate case that happened with George here in Minnesota. And Minnesota is a great place, you know. It's a very diverse area. Is not all people here are bad, you know. And it's crazy what's going on in our city right now. Like there's so much that's going on right now, but it's crazy how few could ruin it for like everybody, you know. And it's sad how it went down. It was like a week ago, things were so different here, and now like things are like there's like 20 buildings burning every night, you know, because of the riots and like everything that's going on. And I think like that story and then this happening in the same city within the same week kind of like just set so many people off, you know.
What would be your message to America? Because this is not the first time this incident has happened. We've seen a couple of days before your incident, was an incident in New York. And it's just happening across the nation where Blacks are being questioned and being approached by white individuals who just don't want them to be in that space, or they feel they don't have the right to be in a space. So what would be your message to America after this incident?
Well, the biggest thing is just simply minding your business. Like, people don't understand how big that is. Just simply
mind your business.
Literally minding your business. It's such a simple thing, but like so many people don't want to do it, and like think bad things could come after you, and like it could just pretty much like ruin your life if your story goes viral or like the whole social media, because when it reaches the internet is unstoppable. You don't know how big it's gonna go. So it's like just simply like people minding their business and not to have like entitlement, you know. Don't think you're better than anybody else. Don't think you're above anybody else, you know, because you never know who that person is, you know. Like let's say that the guy he ran like a VC company, you know, like he didn't know that we had a technology company that he could have invested in. The conversation could have went a whole different way if you just say, hey, who are you guys? What company do you do? You know, so it's just like, don't judge a book by its cover is another big thing too, you know. Like don't feel like just because someone's skin color, they're not as intelligent as you, they're not as smart as you, they don't deserve the same things as you. It's really like the main thing. And the thing that I do respect is so many people were saying like, hey, like I'm disgusted to be a white person right now based off what I seen off that, you know, you guys don't deserve that. So it's like, there are people who are out there who do understand what's going on, who do understand the message, but the ones that don't, just simply minding your own business. And at least if you're going to approach somebody, approach them the right way. You know, that's a huge one too. Like so many people don't talk about that. It's like the way you come off your first time is like the way you do anything is the way you do everything, you know. So you can't just say, oh, that was an accident, or I was mad at the moment. No, like that's how you do everything. So it's like controlling yourself, you know, dignity with class, you know.
That's what it is. The message for the day: mind your business, man. So we really appreciate you for coming on this morning and sharing your story. Before we let you go, man, just give us some insight on how we can follow you and your company.
Yep. So at all socials, it's at team and then top figure, and then our website is topfigure.co, and then again that's team top figure.
Thanks
that's
so
what
much.
it is, Abby. Thanks so much, brother.
Thank you. Take care.
A great job.
Yes.
Great job.
Thank you, brother.
Guys for having me. Bye.
Thank you, brother. Peace.
Man, mind y'all business. Y'all heard
Mind
it,
your
man.
business. Mind your business. It's that simple.
And one thing I feel like that's so important is when we keep seeing these, you know, racist white people, you know, kind of coming into these experiences where they're policing Black people, the Black people and the people surrounding who are recording are bringing it to light. So I think that's something so important that we can do, you know, if we're bystanders or if we're in that situation, to bring it to light, because, you know, that's making change happen in some of these incidents, you know, so I think that's really important.
You got to keep your hat on.
So Cass, you want to go to your next guest? We have a guest coming up.
Yes. Super excited to welcome Archie Clay. Archie is from Wear Brims. He owns a brand that is, you know, lifestyle, luxury hat company. And I know, Archie, I don't know if your co-founder is coming on, but you can I think you're on mute right now.
Hold on 1 second. Yeah, here we go.
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
Good. Taj Crutch is the other co-founder of Wear Brims. How are you all doing today? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having us. Tell us a little bit about your brand, a little bit about you guys.
Well, my name is Archie Clay III, co-founder. I was born in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I was raised in Atlanta, Georgia. Went to Tuskegee University.
Tuskegee. Hate you.
You know, okay, you. Me and my business partner, we crossed the same year. We're both alphas. But essentially the idea of the concept of the brand started in 2016 with the vision of creating our own narrative around fashion. We knew that fashion was so different and hard to get into, but fedoras was a accessory that's been around for a long time. It's very sustainable. If you know, most fedora hat companies have been around since the 1800s. Your Stetsons, your Baileys, your Gorham Brothers, things of that nature. So we knew that there was a market for it, but we didn't know how to get into that market, right? So I brought the idea to Taj. Taj was like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I never tried this before, so you know, you sure you want to do this? You playing? Don't be playing with me now. But I was like, nah, bro. Like I had a lot on my mind at that time period, so I was really focused and ambitious to create my own narrative for myself and for my family in the future. And after I talked to him, I initially went to work. I said, okay, he don't believe me, I'm gonna make him believe me. So I found a manufacturer. We had our first sample done within that first month, and they kind of started the whole vision around what we're doing now.
Yeah, and piggyback off of Archie as well. I went to Troy University, maybe like 45 minutes from Tuskegee. So I used to go visit Tuskegee a lot. Sometimes do a party, do a little, you know what I'm saying, here and there with the Fry brothers. But
big city, Tuskegee, big city.
Oh yeah, it's super big. No, no, but it's a nice place to go in and out. But but we used to go there all the time. But in Troy, I was just working. I graduated with Troy University with the information systems background and my bachelor's in that. And I was just working in IT at the time when Archie hit me with the idea. So I just thought it was just one of my friends just calling me on some, hey bro, I got a get quick scheme that we can get rich real quick. And I was just like, okay, yeah, I was listening to him. And then I just like hung up the phone after that. And it was like, all right, Archie. And then the next day he called me back and was like, hey bro, I'm dead serious. Like, well, I got the manufacturer where we can get our material, fabric, all that. And I was like, man, this guy is serious. And fashion always been in both our bloods. Like we always wore fedoras on our fashion palette, like throughout college. And we always hit each other up and was like, hey, where'd you get that hat from? How can I find this color? We can never really find exactly what we was really looking for. So when he brought the idea to me, I thought about it, but I was like, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't really into getting into my own business or whatnot. I wanted to make hats, but I always put it on, started and then put it right back down. So I never really like went all the way into it. But when he came to me with the idea, I was like, maybe this is like a blessing in disguise. So when he called me back the second time, I really kind of took him serious. And he was like, hey, we just got to find a name and all that. So I was just like, shoot, what if we call it like Brims, like that? So, and I was just throwing something out there and he was like, that can work. You know what I'm saying? That sounds like that can work. And I was just like, you sure? And he was like, yeah, that sounds like that can work. So I was just talking to my friends like, hey, me and my frat brother Archie probably gonna start our own luxury fedora hat company. We gonna probably call it Brims. And they was like, well, is that a fish? Or what is that? You know what I'm saying? They didn't really take our name serious. And I was like, so it really had me thinking. But then Archie was like, nah, that rings. You know what I'm saying? It's simple. You would tell people to wear brims, and that's gonna be it. And I was just like, yeah, let's run with that. So like it's been going smooth ever since. We have our ups and downs with starting off, but right now we just making it work. Just making it work.
Definitely.
What
Definitely.
would you tell entrepreneurs that are considering getting into manufacturing business? Having a product, and how important is it for African Americans to have products for our community to consume? And I do want to apologize. I'm a hat wearer, and I need to purchase your brim. I think I get your emails, and they were talking about something that was happening in terms of China, and I got some product on the water trying to get here myself, but. Yeah. I do want to apologize because I do have the ability to purchase. So I will be purchasing a hat at some point because we need to support our community and stop being so proud about wearing designs of others. But what would you tell that young entrepreneur, some of the hiccups that we could stop? Like research better. What would you suggest? Like two things that they could do that would save us money as a community?
Yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost is the research. I think it's understanding the market first and foremost, without anything. I think that was the difference between us. Like we could have easily started and nothing against big companies that start t-shirt lines and hoodie lines, things of that nature. But I think my advice is be different, right? Create your own narrative. I think that's the most important thing out of anything, because when you create your own narrative, you have a bigger market, you have a bigger market share, and you have the ability to have a stronger impact within your own share of that market, right? Because for example, if you create a sneaker company, it's gonna be harder. You still can make it happen and do that sneaker company, but if it's not different, it's gonna be hard to really kind of make an impact. That's why there's not that many Black-owned luxury sneaker companies out there, because it's so hard to have that business. And the only sneaker companies that kind of make an impact, for example, is like Allbirds. Allbirds is a new sneaker company that's been around for 4 years. And the valuation within that 4 years is $1.5 billion, right? So my advice is that be different, because don't be afraid to step out the box. Don't worry about what people think. Oh, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do this. Like the reason why we're going to be successful is because we did something nobody else did. And now people are doing hat companies now because they know the value of what it is. So my advice is don't be different. Don't be afraid to take those risks and do your research.
Archie, really quickly, what is the name of that company again? The sneaker company. We have someone from Facebook asking.
It's called Allbirds. It's ALLBIRDS. It's not a black company, but I like to use that advice because they are worth $1.5 billion and they sell wool sneakers.
Allbirds. Okay.
Yeah.
Taj.
Yeah, like to parallel what Archie was saying, my suggestion and advice for people that are just starting off would do proper planning. I say take that time and initiative to really plan out exactly what you want to create. Don't just rush it because you see everybody else throwing out their ideas and their brands and their designs. Sit down and really draw out exactly what you want. Exactly what you want to create. It might take maybe 3 or 4 samples or something like that. Don't panic at the time where you might get a sample back and it's not exactly what you want. You know what I'm saying? Do your research, like Archie was saying, do your research, outsource, make sure you try these different factories and manufacturers until you find the exact one, because if you're not 100% comfortable with the material that you want to create, you're not going to be 100% comfortable trying to sell it to your consumers or people that want to support you. So I say this, use that time, and like Archie said, be unique. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to create a bright yellow shirt and with the blue on the top, that's what you want to do. And that's what you're 100% about. Do that. You know what I'm saying? Because if you try to switch your narrative and try to, I think everybody else want to wear this, so I'm gonna just design that. That's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? That's not gonna be authentic. So just be yourself when you're trying to create, and then do the research. Definitely do the research.
Definitely. And we have another question about if your hats are unisex or not. Do you make hats for women?
Definitely.
Yes, all of our hats are unisex. It's definitely unisex. We have a measuring kit on our website just to base it off of a person's head. So definitely all our hats are unisex. And we make sure I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I just wanted to ask you, before you guys get out of here, I wanted to touch on, the Brim Up campaign that you guys are doing. You're giving back to the healthcare workers on the front lines. So just tell me a little bit about that and why that was important for you all as a company.
Yeah, so Brim Up campaign was actually started with the idea of, really started because we didn't have a manufacturer. We knew that we needed to stay relevant, but for us, it kind of became more than just selling product. Right, we realized that it was more important to have an impact first, and then the product would come. Because in the beginning, when we realized we didn't have a manufacturer, it was a little stressful because we knew that was our main bulk of the business. But we me and Taj talking kind of like, yo, I think we can kind of take this as a kind of a sign to do more, right? And so what we did, we created a campaign on our IG Live where we interview individuals from different industries and things of that nature. And we basically talk about their story, tell their journey. And basically the whole purpose of that is to motivate and inspire people during these difficult times to push forward. Because I think it's all about keeping your head up during difficult times, right? It's not just during the pandemic. It's not just during what's going on right now in Minnesota or Minneapolis. It's about keeping your head up in all situations. Whatever you're going through in life, keep your head up. And we took that narrative to say, hey, I think we can do more within our own community within Atlanta. And we just kind of started. We created we partnered with Chef J. Rob, and we created meals for Northside and Grady. And we plan to do a homeless shelter next Friday. And the goal is to continue to push the narrative, take donations, and honestly do stuff at least 3 to 4 times out the month. Because I think for us, we realize that it's bigger than selling product at the end of the day. We know that we're going to sell for doors. That's going to always happen. But what can we do bigger? What can we do on a bigger level and a bigger platform to really have a bigger impact, not only to our customers, but our community, which is the most important thing out of anything.
Sounds good. The individuals who are really still trying to follow your business acumen, how'd you find the manufacturer? I mean, you said you didn't have one. How'd you find a manufacturer? And last, and we got about 2 minutes, budgeting. Because most entrepreneurs don't talk about budgeting. Love the planning, love that you're talking about, but the budgeting and finding a manufacturer.
So manufacturer, I give we had that much time, but I give we utilize Makers Row. Makers Row was the resource that we utilized to find our manufacturer. Our second manufacturer that we got, we actually reached out to us about 1.5 years ago. But that's my advice: to utilize Google, utilize Maker's Row to find that right manufacturer that you're looking for. But also realize, what do you want to be, an international manufacturer? You want to be in America? We're made in America. Just want to put that out there. So all our resources are handmade. Hats are made in America. And to the second question about budgeting, man, we funded ourselves.
Everything out of the pocket. Everything out of pocket from the beginning. So it's like, so that budgeting was real tight. It was very tight, and we had to make sure it was proper, because we had to pay our bills at the same time, fund our dream. And that's exactly what we had to do. And it was hard at sometimes, but we made it happen. We had to sacrifice some things, not really going out or really finding latest Jordans, because we wanted to create that next fly hat, So some of them sacrifices really came down to basically, what do we want in the future, or what do we want to succeed in life. So that budgeting is really key, like someone had asked.
Now we're more professional in our budgeting. Now we got a whole system, So we utilize this to something called benchmark, so we know exactly what's coming through, what's coming out. So
that's awesome.
I advise you get a platform in the beginning, so you know exactly where your money is.
Say the platform again.
Benchmark.
And what is?
Say again.
What is Benchmark?
It's a financial platform that kind of categorizes all your what you're spending on.
Right. Now, I just want to share that insight, because I think it's really important. We appreciate Wear Brims, all of you coming on, but the importance of budgeting is so key for entrepreneurs. And I like the fact that you said you had to keep your lights on at the same time. So hopefully you guys can reach out to over Invest Atlanta. I know they got a new creative fund that's available. So, reach out to them if you need any information on that. But they're definitely making loans for the creative in the city. So
awesome. In the city. Thank you for the information.
Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you, Archie. Thank you, Taj. Just quickly tell everybody where they can support you all, where they can follow you.
You can find us at wearbrims.com. You can find us on Facebook at Brims. And you can find us on IG, Instagram at wearbrims.
And if you have any information, if you need to email us at info@wearbrims.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining us today.
Congratulations. We're very proud. Tuskegee, Troy. Yes. We appreciate you here rolling out. I can't wait to get on that IG Live. So reach out and figure out what we can do.
Hey, Cassie, send us his information. We'll get him a date today.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely we'll connect it.
IGs and do something. So I'm with you guys. Very proud of you. Big ups to you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cass. Great job.
Take care.
Have a good one, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Peace.
Cass, you buying me a brim, Cass?
Man, I need to buy me a brim.
Oh, okay. Well, just put my order in too.
I'm gonna go get the pink one. I like the one he was wearing. I'm gonna go get that one. But definitely, that was a lot of good info. I appreciate them for coming on, because they share some of the tools that they use for sure to build their business. So I think that's
design
helpful.
And dialogue. You did a great job with that, Cass. I mean, giving young people insight from other young people. That was a wonderful thing. To see Tuskegee graduates, and it's really a big movement for entrepreneurship. But having the tools are key. Being able to know what to do, being able to track your spending, and they shared those insights as well. Amir?
Definitely. I think we have our next guest, Mulatto. She on yet from you?
My Mulatto? No, she better not. We gotta see, man. Man, I'm telling you, man.
Why don't we go to the next report?
Yeah, we had a great conversation.
Okay.
We had a great conversation yesterday. She's gonna give us some great info today, man. And she let out something serious about how she's been dealing with COVID-19 that we're gonna talk about when she comes on. But outside of that, rolling out AM Wake Up, man. Shout out to everybody that's on Facebook. AR, what you got?
Okay, so we're going to go back to MSP, man. After following the incident with at the precinct, they started letting out fireworks, as you can see, and this occurred last night.
Cops are trained. Once the cuffs go on, the Man was in handcuffs, so you can't even say he contributed to his own death.
Yeah. And he was, even though he was intoxicated, he still complied to everything they wanted. He didn't put no fight up. He didn't do anything.
He was in handcuffs. Cops are trained. Once the cuffs go on,
and so that was a scene from last night, of course, in Minnesota, and fireworks were going off. The police actually retreated from the station. We had video of them leaving the station once the fire occurred. So yeah, it was a lot happening last night, and we're going to talk more about it. Just your thoughts on, I guess, what we saw last night as far as fireworks going off. Some people see it as a victory, but I don't know. It's kind of like a mix. I get mixed feelings about the video.
Right.
There were definitely mixed messages on social media from what I saw. A lot of people say, why are you burning down your community? And then you have the people saying, well, they're not listening. So what more can we do? So there's definitely a mixed message, I feel like, with what's going on. I don't know. I don't understand the fireworks, but, I guess it's people just doing everything they can to, make a message and try to be heard.
And so we also have video of the police actually leaving the precinct before it went ablaze. So these are officers leaving the precinct. Guess the video's slow, but those are officers leaving the precinct following the disruption.
Mm-hmm. Before the fire broke out, right, Amir? Before
this is like before the fire broke out, the police officers who were at the precinct, they basically retreated. They instead of, I guess, staying back.
Wow.
So yeah, as you can see, a very emotional scene from last night in Minneapolis following the death of George Floyd. The officers who were involved in, or who were there when he died, they have yet to be arrested, and this was the response from the people in Minneapolis. And we're gonna speak more about this situation. We have a few experts from Minneapolis who are going to speak, give us some more insight of what's happening on the ground and on the front lines.
That's heavy.
So Romeo, what's happening on social media? I know social media is blowing up about this situation. What are you seeing on social media right now?
Right now on social media, it's a cross. It's a cross between and which is I haven't seen this all week from millennials. Half of social media is using their voice to create action. They're using their voice to create positivity, and the other ones and others feel like they have no voice, they have no action, so they're acting out, And I think until someone actually, like we said earlier this week, I think until someone actually says this is the plan, that people are still going to act out until they get this is what we're going to do, step 1, step 2, step 3. So social
Now,
media.
there are demands from all the individuals at the NAACP. There are demands that people are making, and they're real clear. Arrest the officers, like arrest them. It's not a we're not sure. They're saying arrest the officers. Like we watched him murder somebody on camera, Romeo. Arrest the officers. Those young people are asking for action. They know the action they want to take. They're not confused. People want us to believe, but they're asking for an action, a particular action.
Right.
Arrest the officers today.
Romeo, I think you're referring to the young people are asking for like guidance from leadership and how they should respond.
Right. How do I express this? Because as you can see from every single video, the revolution, the uprising is not coordinated. It's not, I'm not going to say it's not well put together, but as we can see, it's not together. So it's kind of like, hey,
some of what we know is together. People have marched and planned rallies during that. I don't want us to not say the NAACP is organizing rallies every single day. They're meeting behind the scenes every single day. They are not participating in that. There is a group that is participating in their own emotional eruption and being a part of their movement. But clearly there are demands that everybody, and we want, Romeo, and want you to even share with other young people. We understand what you're doing as it relates to that's where you are. We don't want to change where people are. But clearly the response is these men are walking free at home, eating chicken, and he had his foot on this guy's neck. George Floyd, not just a guy. He lost his life. These young people are asking for justice now. They know that now that there has been no justice for this young man. They're leaving their homes to express themselves in any way that they can, catching a transition that they want to happen, but they clearly have made some real demands, Romeo, at this moment. And I want everyone to know that our demand is the same, justice. You know, when's the last time you've seen somebody, Amir, and with his foot on the neck of somebody and the person is murdered and then they go home and have dinner with their family and their wives and have call and watch cable.
And they're protected. There was video footage of over 70 police officers. So this is 100. I'm okay. 100 police officers.
I know it looked like hundreds.
But looked like 100, but they were surrounding the house of Derek Chauvin, who was the guy who put his knee on the neck of George Floyd. And they're right. He's being protected. He's not in jail. He hasn't been charged. Yesterday, the district attorney came out and said they don't have enough evidence yet to charge. And I think that was the thing that kind of put everybody on the edge. I think that's the thing that we have to always want to point to is that yesterday there was a press conference that they stated that right now at this moment that they don't have enough evidence to charge the cops. Although we saw on footage, everyone saw with their own eyes that this was a murder. But the officers, but the district attorney has said that they don't have enough evidence at this moment. So I don't know if that's changed thus far, but I think that statement pretty much sent a lot of people over the edge last night, where it's like, okay, if the world can witness a murder and not call it a murder, what do we do now? Like, what's the next step?
Good deal. I hear everybody's points. I respect definitely what Mr. Steve said about people that are creating action and what you said about the action. I think the disconnect is what Cass was alluding to. I think the disconnect is that voice is not getting to those certain protesters. I saw the video last night where the officer had protection around his house, organized. I saw organized around his house, protect him, right? But then I saw protest people who were upset and protesting, and it was just random. That's all. I think that's all people are asking for.
When we went live from MSP on Rolling Out News, we literally had Tyrone Carter reporting live on the street, and they had all marched downtown, Romeo. And that was a group of individuals. but you've got an entire city now engaged. So people are coming in out of their homes, going to wherever, and they've been pent up. Look, it's been what? With Corona, let's not take out Corona. They like, woo, I can go outside. And oh, I got a purpose for being outside. I want my voice to be heard. I want to video some of this for my friends. I want to be able to post about this injustice. I've been wanting to throw some rocks and let people know that I don't appreciate how other people are being treated. And it's not a justification, but people are getting in where they fit in right now in this movement for justice. Now, it's not all script. Everybody doesn't even know the NAACP. These are all new meetings. Even some of the National Challenge, these are all new meetings. It's not like I see even some of the big channels, Amir, actually speaking to the community leaders. Not that they haven't, but they just been on the scene of where the worst example is.
Correct. Those voices aren't being heard. Tamika Mallory, she'll be there today. She has a press conference today at noon, so we definitely want to circle back with her to get her thoughts on what's happening. Reverend Al Sharpton, he tweeted last night that he was headed to Minneapolis to I guess bring some type of calm or some type of focus. You're right, Romeo, but there is two sectors. There is an organization, there is organized protest, and then there's an uprising of people who are upset. And so there's two sections of people who are responding in different ways. And right. I think what you're saying is that we want to kind of bring everybody together on one accord to say this is our plan, this is our mission.
Correct. Definitely. Or who just so maybe Rolling Out can do it. Who's the voice of the NAACP in Minneapolis that we can say, hey, go to this person for information? Who's the voice?
They're there, Romeo.
I know they're there, but the voice is not getting.
This is beyond that. This is beyond that. This truly is a movement by young people wanting to be heard, and they're not standing in line. They're not going to get in line right now. They're not trying to organize so that they can be predictable. They're at the point where they've watched an injustice and they're hurt. And they're hurt because the decision is postponed again. Like, you decided not to do it again. You didn't see the video? They're asking, Romeo. They're like, some of them don't want to play book because they're hurt. They've been silent for so long. They saw Fernando Castillo. They saw that. And he wasn't the last. This has been years of oppression. And now they're coming forward. So they don't want to play book. And some of them aren't good actors. But there are others that just want to be involved in some kind of part of social change, Romeo. They want to be involved in the street. They want to feel the energy of change. And if they can find it wherever it is, we have to understand that's a story they will tell for their history and for their children. And what some people are doing are trying to rewrite the narrative, but it's a narrative of oppression. So they're never going to understand why you burn something, because you've never been oppressed. It's always easy to say, why would you do that? That's what they want you to believe, that it's not organized. Yeah, it's the history being written again, that oppression from 92, from 1902, that the foot, 400 years, 450 years? It's just continued to be oppression.
So let me throw this at the team then. Who's the voice? Because Amir, Mr. Steve Katz, if it was NWA, if it was Public Enemy, if it was Malcolm X, if it was Martin Luther King, who's the voice today? Who's the one voice?
But anybody? It's not a one voice movement. There's a principle here that everybody wants to ignore. There's a principle, Romeo. You have two young sisters that run the NAACP. They're 25 with law degrees, and they have spoken. They have literally gone out and spoken. They have said, here's the agenda. They have met with the police chief. The decision not to bring in those police officers continued the eruption. People wanted, those young people have an agenda. Let's not depict them as not having an agenda. They have an agenda. It is clear. Those young people, they're 25. She has a law degree. I mean, it is a critical moment in the history of Minneapolis, and they need to live their truth. But we got Louis King coming on to run Summit Academy.
Good morning.
Yeah. So he should provide some insight of what's happening. How's it going, brother? You want to take yourself off mute? There we go.
Morning.
Can you hear me now?
We can. Good
Very
morning,
good.
Louis King. Woo! Summit Academy. Woo!
Well, as you know, it's a pretty crazy time here. First, let me just say this, that I've never seen anything like this. And what I mean by that, I've been here Munson since I was 29. I'm 60 now. They kill a brother by every 3 years around here.
Woo!
About every 3 years.
Hold 1 second. Hold 1 second.
11.
Hold 1 second. For all those viewing, this is Louis King. He is clearly the CEO and president of Summit Academy and Technology. He's creating a technology district for those in Minneapolis. And if you don't know, he provides a skill set for families in Minneapolis to be able to go in and get a trade and a skill set. He is providing many of the young people in Minneapolis the opportunity to grow in their technological and skill set advancement. So I don't want people just to think you're just on here talking, Louis. You are truly a community leader. You have created a legacy there in Minneapolis that serves the community as it relates to every trade, from electricians to being able to run heavy equipment, to understanding cybersecurity, creating a technology district. So, Louis, what is your mission? And then we'll come back to the current mission. What is the mission of Summit Academy?
So, Monson, when I left Morehouse and then did 10 years as a soldier, they sent me here. And I'd never been in a place as an adult, as an American city. And then I was used to Atlanta and Jacksonville, and this had such a small African-American community with no power and pretty much no indigenous Black middle class. Everybody was imported here working for the Fortune 500 companies, right, with no connection. So I resigned my commission and I said, hey, what's the problem? The people needed to work. Well, I ran for school board, got elected, got off, and then we started building Summit. And we believe that the best social service program in the world is a job. Philanthropy is the new plantation. Social service programs don't push productivity. Our people need to work. Every man wants to provide for his family, period. All right. And other people trying to solve our problems through programs in the Great Society has not worked. So we're all about making sure that people can get to work. We take them in for 20 weeks, no out-of-pocket costs. And I can take you from $10 an hour, average wage, $20,000 a year, to $35,000 in 20 weeks, no out-of-pocket costs. If two of you in a household making any money, you are now in the middle class. That's it. Okay, and along the way, we teach them how to live with us, that you can put aside the street mentality, you can put all that away and join, another family that takes care of the children. You don't have to work, you don't have to go to the check cashing place, you know how to deal with a bank, and you have a skill and you can have a career. And it's been working. Well, we have a 90% plus placement rate for the people who graduate. 52% of the people who start the program go on to get jobs. We run 1,000 people through the system a year. It's everything you and I learned about the values and what Black people really stand for. And it's what I do every day, man. I'm having a good time.
Well, no, I know that you changed lives there. But the disparity in Minneapolis is huge.
Yes, this place, for all of the goodness, literally speaking, if you come here as a middle-class Black person and you work for 3M, Target, Best Buy, Toro, Medtronic, I mean, it's heaven. I mean, you can live a life here that's really, really good is what we, but if you poor, if you from Chicago, if you don't have a high school diploma, it's the worst place. We have the worst disparities for incarceration. We have the worst disparities for academic achievement. It's either, there's literally, like I said, there's no Black business district, okay? You have the Latinos, the Asians, the Somalis, but when you come to Broadway, very few Black people actually own the businesses. All right. And so it's kind of a real disconnect. It's the land of milk and honey with very little honey for poor Black folks. And in the middle class, African Americans are mainly tied to the corporations and live outside of 494 on the loop. So they're not in the mix every day. So you don't, and history shows that if the middle class is not engaged, the poor flounder and the elite just keep doing what they do. And that's the deal here. So I looked at it and said, oh, I know what the problem is. We got to put people to work, make sure the little boys know what a man really does. He doesn't, live with his mama. He doesn't have a bunch of kids all over the place. He can handle his own business. And that's the business that I'm in.
When you think about that, what are your demands now of your stakeholders? You put out a letter, you're asking for something. What are you asking your stakeholders there in Minneapolis to do differently?
Sure. So initially, I looked at the situation, and I don't do the streets and I don't do the police. Okay. I don't do the police because that's just a game between the activists and the police and the politician, and it goes nowhere. I stay out of it. So I was waiting for the point where it was time to rebuild, right? And okay, all right, now the arsonists and the firemen don't rebuild the house. You got to have the carpenters to come in and do that. And everybody was asking me, what can we do? I said, well, the first thing you can do is this. America moves when white people have had enough. And we see that with the Civil War, the Civil Rights Movement. Anytime white America says, we've had enough. That's why when King in Birmingham let Bull Connor set the dogs and the fire hoses on the women and children, they was watching that on the Walter Cronkite newscast. White America couldn't stomach it, all right? So white America now sees his cop, choking this man out with his knee in an illegal chokehold, and he got a look on his face like he's having a cup of coffee. And everybody's going, what should we do? And I said, you got to speak out. Silence is consent. The police are doing what white America is allowing them to do. They have replaced the Klan in keeping us down. They are the mechanism for containing poor people, and there is a no holds barred situation, and that must come to an end now. So I'm saying to my constituents, the people, the power base, I'm on the bank boards and all of that. I'm saying you got to speak out, because as King said, it's the silence of our friends that we will remember, right? Because you letting it go on, and if you don't say anything, if you're worried about, what people are going to think about you, and you're not thinking about us, then we on opposite sides of the issue. I don't want programs. I don't want you to throw some dollars at it. I want you to stand up and say, this is wrong and it must stop, and it's got to stop right now, and we will not tolerate it. So that's thing one. And by this morning, yesterday, I spent the whole day watching the situation, and I woke up and my 18-year-old daughter had been up all night on Snapchat watching the kids do the deal. And we got into a debate because I said, well, they're burning, they're costing people jobs, they can't buy groceries. And she's like, but y'all don't hear us, and everything that you're doing is not working, okay? And I said, oh, okay. So then I went out the rest of the day. So then that night, she and her best friend, who's 17, came in, and we got into it again, right? And it was the same argument. And I'm like, well, you remember when our business burned down and 20-something people lost their jobs? She said, but Dad, you don't get it. We tired of this. Y'all don't hear us. And this is what happens when you don't hear us. I then went to Facebook Live, and that was Leslie Redmond, the president of the NAACP. She had 4 little white girls, 17 and 18. And do you know, verbatim, they almost used the same exact words that my daughter and her friend used. At that point, I said, okay, we got to get behind the young people. We got to support them. They're not organized. They've been infiltrated by the anarchists. I've been on the phone all morning with the government officials. I know I'm going to stay out of it, bro. You know, it ain't me. But if my daughter is saying it and the other young people are saying it, then I cannot let them get in harm's way. I must lend my infrastructure to them to get organized and be supported. I feel that we need to host a rally, bring in a national name, create a safe space for them to come protest, put some men on the streets to get between them and the police and the anarchists, put some food out there, some water out there, make sure we got everything they need to have a safe space to do what they do, because they're showing leadership, taking a risk and stepping up. But these people are exploiting them, burning down our communities. They're not from here. And now the police are showing up, state police, they arrested a CNN reporter. So what they're gonna do with our children down there, all right? Well, you know, I mean, so I'm taking a break to talk to you, but I've been on the phone since 6:30 saying it's showtime, Doc. And the grown folks about to show up and lean in. I'm typing an email to some people who asked to help, putting a price tag to what it costs to put it on the streets, and we're gonna roll out.
Cool. Rolling out. Well, Louis, we'll check back in with you this day by the end of the day, because we want to know more. Continue your super leadership. I know that with your friends, the what's the group that we go to dinner with every year?
Oh, which ones?
The Monarchs.
Yeah, the Monitors. The Monitors. Yeah.
I know that's quite a monitoring conversation. I see your leadership. The young people want action now, and they also want a resolution with this police officer who is home eating chicken. So we clearly want. They're not blind, and you need every old person.
But we don't want Baltimore either. You know, they ran in there because we're playing for keeps. All right, we're playing for keeps right now, and you're only gonna get one shot at these guys, and you don't want them to run away, get away on a technicality. All right. So I know the county attorney. He's my friend. He is not perfect, but he cannot screw this up either way. He can't make the wrong call, and he can't screw up making the right call. All right. So we got to keep the heat on. But right now, I want you to know something. The gray hair's about to get in behind the young people. We get it. We don't like it.
Thank you.
We get it. We don't like it, but we get it. All right.
Well, let's get it. Let's get it.
Hey, I'm having a third floor Hubert reunion for the class of 77, my freshman year this Saturday. It's good to see you, Munson.
Great
Love
to see
you, man.
brother. Love you, bro. Peace.
All right.
Count me in.
Okay, I got you. Y'all be cool now.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Cool. That was a great conversation. But we have B. Howard that's coming. Want to make sure. Is B. Howard here?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Hello guys. What's going on? Good morning, man.
How you feeling?
It's Friday.
Friday here at 6:30 in the morning, man.
I know. Oh man, appreciate you jumping on the Rolling Out AM Wake Up, man. How is life in the new normal?
Life in the new normal is kind of like, it's almost the same pretty much. It's like as an artist and you're producing in this music world, we're always in the studio, we always working and stuff like that. We barely come out. When we come out, we go do the shows, we go do the meet and greets, say what's up, we back in. So it's kind of fortunate that we had that experience, you know what I'm saying, in this yeah.
Well, introduce yourself to the Rolling Out AM Wake Up before we get to the music, man.
All right, cool. Hey, what up? This is B. Howard from LA and Chicago. I went to both places. produced different people and created different artists such as like Neo, Chris Brown, like Lupe Fiasco, Chief Keef, Jason Derulo, and Vanessa Hutchins, and so forth. And then on my project, I got a chance to debut on the World Cup song and, you know, go #1 in different countries and coming back home.
Oh, the song is hot. The song hot. That's I watched the video. The song hot. You got some heat. Let's talk about music right now as a creative, right? And dealing with the whole, you know, COVID and the world upside down, you know. How have you been more or less creative during this process?
I could say it's been a lot of different ways that I've been more creative, and a lot of ways I've been able to be creative with other creatives during this time. Like we've had, you see how we on Zoom right now, you know what I'm saying? We on Zoom talking and stuff like this. I've been able to think of creative ways to write with other writers across the world this way. You know, sharing the music and sharing ideas and things. I think it's brought a lot of us together closer in a creative space. And then being in the studio has been like, you know, therapy for me and for other people. So I'm in here and I'm creating and, you know, keeping busy. You know, I found like so many different sounds and different directions that I probably would have missed out on, that I found different like keyboard VSTs and everything like that I never noticed that were in the program.
Right.
Yeah.
Cass?
Definitely. I want you to just, you know, thank you for joining us this morning. I wanted you to talk a little about this song, We Are Champions, kind of the inspo behind it. And I believe we have the video queued up as well.
Okay. Well, the video We Are Champions is it's been really special to me. It's something that like originally was created, you know, it was like a dream one day, and I created a version of the track, and I laid down my vocal and, you know, called my friend Cosign in from Chicago, from the interns, called him in, and we started creating with it together. And then I was over in China. I was with my friend, you know, my friend, and we was like talking like, dude, you know, we have such a brotherhood and a clique, you know, you're from here, I'm from here, and we're doing things together, my dude Van Ness. And it was just like, dude, how do you feel about getting on the record? Like, do you feel the record and what I'm talking about? And he was down for it. We came and we shot a video, and we just sat on it for a while. You there?
This is the video.
Yes.
Medical workers, they're worried they can't fight the coronavirus safely.
Healthcare workers are now also starting to test positive.
Taiwan's health minister made headlines when he broke down in tears Tuesday night over the coronavirus outbreak.
Dancing in the dark where we can see the light shining like diamonds. Feeling so alive, this night will never die. Kept the memories. As the world turns round, time is standing still. If it ever ends, we'll do it again. As the world turns round, time is standing still. If it ever ends, we'll do it again.
Heroes of the night rise when the sun falls down. Down for anything, up for any challenge. Soldiers of the dawn, we gon' fight the sun. Fight until we've won, we are champions. We are champions, we are champions, we are champions. We don't need your love. Soldiers of the dawn, we gon' fight the sun. Fight until we've won, we are champions. Hey!
Man, let me tell you. Nah, man, let me tell you what's dope about the video and the song. Like, I was watching, and I think I watched it like 3 times, and I noticed that very few artists do this. You actually took the time to create something within the moment of now for everybody. Like as an artist, you stepped outside of the normal, oh, I'm just gonna make some music for me, but you made a song for everyone, man. I appreciate that more than you know. More than you know. That's dope.
Yeah, I appreciate that too, man. It's like right now, another thing that I learned during this time is like about what people go through at their homes and what they're dealing with, like mentally. You know, everybody, like I said, artists are used to this, but other people that aren't used to having to be stuck at home. And, you know, it's tested people's relationships. It's tested people, you know what I'm saying, how they feel about each other. It's tested people's, you know, communication with friends, family, and stuff like that. It's been a big test. And this song, I think, is, you know, from what I've heard, has been helping a lot of people cope with different things and, you know, give people a positive outlook and a hope that, you know, for something better that's coming and for the end game of, you know, this COVID thing, and also like different things that's been going on, like, you know, this thing that happened in you know, Minnesota and all that, you know, yeah,
right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like championing like positivity, championing like, you know what I'm saying, making a better way. You know, you have a lot of people that just can't take it, you know?
AR?
Definitely, man. Powerful words, powerful messages. Let's talk about that photo, the image behind you, man. Like, what's the inspiration behind the image behind you?
The inspiration behind the image behind me is I'm here at the house.
The photo.
Yeah, so I'm here at the family house. We're recording stuff for a special project together, which we'll be talking to you about that together.
Got you. Out of everybody, because you know this is a powerful family, man. Who inspires you? Who inspires you?
Honestly, I mean, it's hard to say because everybody's played their part, and everybody has a role to play in the complete family. So it's like, you know, everybody's really like they got their own lane, and together it's like Voltron or, you know, Power Rangers.
Right.
Everybody's played a piece in my life and making sure that I stay on my right path. I keep creating the type of music that, you know, is uplifting and just being a good person, you know, representing everything correctly.
Yeah. Big ups to you know, being part of a GOAT family, period. So, you know, when it's a GOAT family and somebody asks that question, it's just a GOAT family. Like we're a GOAT family, you know, greatest of all times for us. But right now, I think all of us around the world really just need, particularly in all these things that have happened from Brunswick, just a motivational moment. What would you share with them about the champion piece? How can you just give us a minute? Because people need to hear the voice of hope and of champions that was in that song. What would you share to all those today, many of those young people who are looking for direction and in their heart and their rage, and they're just wanting to hear from people like you from their generation?
Honestly, I mean, the first thing is I'll say this. You know what I'm saying? What that dude did was wrong. Okay? What the person next to him did was wrong, because it's a responsibility to be able to, hey, you're protecting people, but you got to protect the person that you're dealing with, that you know, taking in. You got to tell that dude to stop. But more importantly, I don't want anybody to harbor on their hate, harbor on their rage and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? What you got to do is we got to make a stand together. We got to encourage the people, not talk about the people that did something. We got to talk about the people that are helping and encourage more people to come out and help. You know what I'm saying? Not make this so much of a black, white thing, a race thing, but to make it where we're supporting every type of person that's standing up with us. If we dog people if we're not focused on the people that are standing with us, black, white, Asian, or whatever, no one's gonna want to stand up and be a part of it. I'm saying some people, everyone's not a leader. I'm saying some people's gonna follow the trend, and if the trend is talking about bad about people, they're gonna be like, okay, if I get involved, I can't. But if we're uplifting each other, we're uplifting. Hey, my white homie over here is standing with me, like rocking out. More of them come out. My Chinese homie, my Mexican homie, everybody to stand up together. that's a difference. That's going to make more people come out. That's going to make more people scared to even try to do something like that again, because it ain't just going to be Black people coming at them. It's going to be everybody, humanity coming at them. Humanity. And that's what you got to do right now. You know?
Man, Brandon, I appreciate you
Definitely.
checking into the Rolling Out AM. I got your song on my playlist. Champion is now on my playlist for the entire. I'm rocking the Champion all weekend, man. I appreciate you 100%.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate
Where can people follow you and tune in and get your music?
Follow me on Instagram, Be Howard Official, Spotify, Be Howard Official, everything Be Howard Official.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. We appreciate you standing up for humanity, and big ups to you and your family and all that they continue to give our society.
Thank you guys for allowing the platform and let me be here, man. I appreciate you.
Oh man, you have a good one, man. Champion, man,
Take
all
care.
day, all weekend. That was Brandon Howard, brand new song, Champion, man. Cass, what you think of the video?
Yeah, I definitely think it's very timely. I love the video. I think it's important that we keep on, putting that messaging out, because coronavirus is obviously still going on, So I think it's important for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. Definitely needed in this time. It's good that artists are actually speaking to this moment that we're living in right now.
Gotcha, man. Definitely. Plus, I love the fact, like you said, speaking into the moment. I think Winston brought this up earlier. More artists creating music for the moment, and he definitely stepped up to the players' pat and hit that one out the park. So really good.
So before the next guest comes on, I want to bring up some footage. I know Louis King, he spoke about individuals who are infiltrating this movement. And so this is an incident. This is an image that Isaac Hayes, our good brother Isaac Hayes III, posted on his social media of a white guy who they're saying is a cop. It's not confirmed. They're saying this is a cop who actually began vandalizing things during the uprising. If we can play that video.
Police officer Jacob Peterson of the St. Paul Police Department, according to his ex-wife who identified him. In the video, Peterson starts smashing windows and kickstarts the riot in South Minneapolis. This is a very common tactic. As you can see, he has the umbrella to prevent aerial ID. After being confronted by people, he flees the scene. Watch till the end.
I just came with a hammer and smashed the windows.
I'm gonna fight you right now. You wanna go? What's up? Somebody hold my blunt. Hey, somebody hold my blunt. I'm gonna give you up. Hey.
The person that I'm about to show you in this video.
Yeah, so as you can see, and that's what our good brother Louis King was saying. He was basically saying that people are infiltrating this movement. People are coming in, not really a part of this movement, and they're coming in and being disruptive. As we saw in this video, this guy he's not even for what we're trying to do. And he's coming in and breaking windows and just being a disruptive force. So yeah, and you're right. Like these are people who are coming in, not from the community, but they're causing havoc. Just what are your thoughts on this video of what people are saying, calling this guy an infiltrator who was starting disruption?
This is crazy. I mean, the video shows him like directly going there, breaking some windows, and then leaving, which is, just insane. He's covering himself. He's fully covered. He has an umbrella, like they said. So it looks.
Well, no, I think it's how do you incite rage in a community? How do you start a fire and then blame? See, it's a blame game. It's a deflection. So he disappears. The building and everybody who doesn't know now it's open. Dear all my friends, this is what we're going to do. So it's premeditated that the destruction of the community is not at the hands of the community.
I love the fact that the community walked up to him like, "Hey, bro, what you doing? Like, what are you doing?"
Yeah, I mean, he was clearly an outsider. He wasn't really trying to. he wasn't really trying to bring justice to the legacy of George Floyd.
Planned it, Amir.
Yeah.
It wasn't. He came. What was it, Cash? You the fashion person. He had him a mask. He had his umbrella. All his accessories to create havoc, crime, mayhem, incite fervor, incite the destruction. So he was the flame. He was the one planning the drugs. He was the one that was planning all of those things that are actually we're seeing happen. So he's the planter of destruction. But nobody's calling him a thug yet.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I think we have video of protesters who showed up at Derek Chauvin's home. And Derek Chauvin, again, he's the officer who put his knee on George Floyd's neck before he died.
Look how many fucking people are defending this killer's house. Look how fucking many are defending this killer's house. Look how fucking many are defending this killer's house. Look how fucking many are defending this killer's house. Look how fucking many. Look how fucking many. Look how fucking many. Look how fucking many are defending this killer's house. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look how fucking many.
And so you have a multitude of officers who can actually be helping a situation, but they're in front of this guy's house protecting him. I mean, some of those officers could have been in the streets helping, assisting, making sure that things didn't actually go wrong. But no, they're in front of this guy's house. That's where all the officers were. They were in front of this guy's house.
All of them. Like
the question is, why are they in uniform? Is somebody paying them to stand there?
Taxpayers are paying.
Definitely.
That's the thing.
Right.
Taxpayers.
I'm just saying, why should the taxpayers of Minneapolis pay for hundreds of people to stand outside the house? Why should they be paying?
They shouldn't.
Right. Yeah, taxpayers shouldn't be paying. They're paying to protect the killer. Where George Floyd didn't have that same protection. He didn't have anyone who could step in. He had people who were basically saying, "Look, why are you killing this guy?" But they couldn't intervene, because if they would have intervened, they would have been dead at this moment too. So why are the killers being protected, and the guy who was innocent, who didn't do anything, why is no one was there to protect him?
Did y'all notice as he streamed down the line, everybody's face was protected as she went down the line, like everybody's.
Oh yeah,
face
they were
covered.
fully covered. I mean, they have all the equipment they need, for tear gas, any kind of thing that they're ready to do, they're protected for sure.
Wow, that's wild. That's wild. Rolling out.
They're in uniform. Yeah, what's happening with Facebook? What comments are you seeing?
Oh man, so we're gonna start from the bottom. Check out everybody on Twitter and Facebook. Pat George is checking in. She says, "Speak, young man. We all need allies in races and culture." Paul Gonzalez says, please protect yourself by any means necessary. Cornisha Nelson, they are unorganized, but they are passionate. She's speaking to the young people that are out there. There's also one question that went by. Siobhan LeConte says she's mad and frustrated. They're mad and frustrated, rightfully so. When will this end? Lord, please help us. And we had a great comment from Barbara Fields earlier. And Barbara Fields says, I know I am an essential worker. I know people are upset about the pandemic and upset about what's going on, but let's not hurt businesses that are not involved in what's going on. Let's not take people out of their jobs. Let's not take people out of their livelihood. And
that's a good point, because
that's fair.
It's going to take them a long time to rebuild these. People are already out of work, but to rebuild these jobs that people had before, it's definitely going to take a long time to rebuild buildings and
that's why I love.
I think there's a note shared, Amir, if you want to read it, on the in the chat that.
Go ahead to the chat. Romeo, what's the note in the chat?
I was gonna say, no. It was for you.
Okay.
And I think that's one of the things that Louis King, which I loved. I love Louis King. The statement he made earlier, as far as I need to get behind these young people and get them something to do. I need to put them together constructively to let their voice be heard, because apparently they're just going and they're just going. And I love.
He also knows, Romeo, that just like if you were there, everybody would at least want to know that they're protecting their children. And his daughter could end up down there tomorrow, and her friend, because they're tired and they need action now. They don't want to wait. They don't wait till you build a school back, and they see that there's something not right in Denmark. They clearly see that there's something not right, and there's a killing fields going on, and they want everybody who's an adult to take some responsibility. That's what they're looking for. And he knows that there needs to be some type of platform created to marshal in the young people in a safe way that won't allow his child or anybody else's child to be harmed, given that they now have identified people from outside coming in to, create another narrative. They're trying to create a new narrative.
David Cuban just asked a powerful question. Is it better to, from Facebook, is it better to loot in retaliation than to go back and forth with the police? Would you prefer them?
I heard the question.
Looting and tearing up stuff instead of going back.
I don't know that the looting is what I'm talking about at all. I mean, I don't think anybody in the movement would suggest that you should loot. I don't think that's part of the movement identity that anybody else. And I think that's the thing that we don't really want, because that's part of the creative of a narrative that is negative. That is part of the narrative that gives them the insight to arrest people. And that means arresting the innocent. So the looter doesn't create just the arrest for himself. He creates called the roundup. So then they're rounding everybody else up. So the looter is not our friend in the movement. We're not coming for cakes and Twinkies and TVs that you can't pawn but for $20. So that's an old game. But that's not who we're talking about. I think some of the property destruction is something we got to calm down. And that's what I think they're hoping for today to come up with. There's no rationale to ever permit looting, because that's the narrative that they want to use. See how they steal? I mean, we don't want to participate in that narrative ever. See how they steal. We told you they were going to do that. No, so that's a negative, and it might be somebody who doesn't understand. It's not a back and forth with police. It's a back and forth with justice. This is a back and forth with justice, not a back and forth with no police. We're not interested in the police right now. They're not part of our conversation.
Carnisha Nelson says, I don't think we want looting, but unfortunately, it's a byproduct. This is why we need to teach them to organize. And Dave's response is, sometimes you need to do the wrong thing to send the right message. Peacefully kneeling did not work. And it goes back to, I think AR brought this up on Monday, as far as what your hands, like Cass brought up, your hands are up, you're kneeling. I got my ID. I got this. You've done every single thing you possibly can do in life. Now what? And like you said,
5 minutes.
All right. So before we close out the show, I want to also bring attention to the uprising that occurred in Louisville last night as well. Individuals are upset about the Breonna Taylor situation and also George Floyd, and it kind of reached the boiling point as well. If we want to play this video right now. And so for people who don't know,
more police are coming up.
Well, I can walk everyone through the video. It was basically an uprising that occurred last night in Louisville, Kentucky. Individuals upset about the Breonna Taylor situation, and give you guys some insight on Breonna Taylor. She was a young sister who was in her home, her and her husband minding their business, and police officers entered with a no-knock warrant, fired multiple shots, and Breonna was shot and killed. And the police officers have yet to be arrested in that situation as well. They have yet to be charged with anything. So you're right. This is happening across the country. While we're dealing with COVID-19, we're also dealing with the pandemic. So it's happening everywhere.
I couldn't quite see everything that was going on in the video. I heard a lot, Amir, but it just sounded, I saw something that said 2 people were injured. Were they shot?
Yeah, well, I have to go back to reports as far as who was injured or not. But from what I'm seeing, it was a kind of a standoff between protesters and police. They were firing those rubber bullets and a lot of tear gas. So it was a very intense situation, similar to what was happening in Minneapolis. So we definitely want to give a shout out to the people up in Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky. Let them know that we're with them, and we want to get justice everywhere.
Well, let's go ahead and call rolling out AM, the wake up call. Positive thoughts of the day, Cassidy.
I think positive thought of the day, we definitely just have to stand together and unify. I think this is a time more than ever that we as a community have to come together and have one linear approach, one message to seek justice.
Amir?
All right. Dr. Martin Luther King said that America must know that riots do not occur out of thin air. We have to know that this happens for a reason, and all this upset and this intense emotion it comes from someplace. And until we get to the bottom of where it comes, it's going to continue. So we want the nation to really take heed to what's happening to create change.
Romeo?
Positive thought, plan before you proceed. Make sure you have a plan before you take that next step in what you do.
To all those who have lost loved ones in the movement, in the struggle, we send our prayers out to those who are in the streets this weekend, because it is a positive action that we hope you're taking to be a part of a movement and uprising that will change the lives and at least recognize the loss of those around the country, and in particular in Minneapolis, George Floyd. We lost a man, we lost a human, we lost an individual. So stay positive on his spirit and all the things that you do, and know that his image of dignity deserves for us to be organized in our understanding. Follow those individuals that are definitely working in the community. They're young. The women that run the NAACP there are young. There are a lot of change agents that just want to come together for many of us. So just like Romeo, he says, take a plan. Just like Cass says, keep digging. Just like Martin says, don't be surprised when you see oppression seize a riot. We want you all to know that here at Rolling Out, we want you to do your part. Post positively, support this movement. Do not let it be ignored by this entire society, because this society is systemic. This is just a tip of the spear of what has happened and what is encouraged by individuals who do not want to respect the rights of all the community that has skin color or a mission that doesn't look like the intentions of the oppressors when they got us off these ships. I'm Munson Steve. This is Romeo International, Cass in the City. It is Friday. We love you all. Rolling Out AM, the wake up call. See you later.
Yes.
Peace.
Have a good weekend.